Wholesaling is simple, but most people make it hard. You need to be aware of this and understand what is truly going on here. Gurus are trying to use code words like this. They're selling you a theory. If you really think there's code word secret that is going to change your business and replace wholesaling, it's going to be so much easier. This will make you survive in a down market. You're kidding yourself. The greatest guru scam of 2023. Guys, it's Rick Yin, and in this video, I'm going to break down a secret new technique gurus are trying to sell you that's going to revolutionize wholesaling and have sellers flocking to you. You need to be aware of this and understand what is truly going on here. So let's break it down. If you really think there's this code word secret that is going to change your business and replace wholesaling, it's going to be so much easier, and this will make you survive in a down market. You're kidding yourself. Guys, if you haven't figured out what gurus are trying to do, it's so easy to sell a theory. So guys, I've been in this business 21 years, and novations have been around forever. They are not brand new. So everyone's telling you they have a new way of doing novations, and if you pay my fee, I'll share the secret with you. Do not buy into this. It is complete junk, and I'm going to show you why in this video. So the definition of a novation is replacing one contract with another. That's it. That's where it ends. There's no such thing as a novation agreement. There's no such thing as special paperwork to make novations work. Novations happen naturally, organically. Sometimes a contract doesn't work out and you have to replace it with another one. Now, gurus are trying to use code words like this in all their sales techniques, and they're selling you a theory. If you hear words like, we need you to be a reasonable seller to give us reasonable access, and we are going to make your paperwork look like a regular transaction, and then we're going to make your property available to the open market. Guys, these are all lies and deceit to sellers, and this is the problem that they're trying to attack wholesalers on. And this is what's creating the problems in our market. So what do? We double down and try to come up with another technique. The reason they're selling you this idea of novation agreements, of course, whatever you want to call it, is it sells, guys, because you think it's the unknown and you think it's going to be the fix for your business. And I'm going to be honest with you, it's not going to last. This is a fad. This is a one-trick pony. And honestly, it is 100% deception to the seller. I'll show you how. So I want you to think of anything in real estate, specifically in wholesaling and investing, that somebody sold you. It's super easy and it's going to revolutionize your business, okay? RVMs, ringless voicemail. It was a brilliant idea. It didn't last 3 years. Why? Because it basically got outlawed because it was so harassing. And you can't do it now or you get a $25,000 fine. Let's talk about short sale flips. That went on for about 4 years. And when people figured out what you're doing, the banks, the underwriters prevented it because now they have 90-day restrictions on it. Think about this too. Also, bank-owned or REO properties. That was a revolutionary idea when we were in a down market before. Guess what? The banks, the underwriters, they tightened it all down on it and they don't let you do it anymore because you have to follow their policies. Guys, anything that's easy and it's a replacement for wholesaling, it eventually gets stopped, banned, outlawed, whatever you want to call it, and novations is no different. The problem with novations is it's all about open deception, and like in theory, it sounds perfect. I'm not going to lie to you. I was even attracted when I heard it. I go, wait a minute. I've been doing business 21 years. I've done novations naturally. We had to replace one contract with another because that's the only way it was going to work out. I have never gone out and purposely marketed people for novations. And that's what these novations courses are selling. They're like, hey, why do wholesaling? This is called wholesaling like 2.0, and it's so much easier. Why? Because you can pay close to full price. Really, guys? Are you going to buy into it? So what I want to do is show you on the screen and break down the difference between wholesaling a deal and novating a deal. First of all, wholesaling is a very simple contract. You are entering into a purchase and sales agreement for 70 to 75% on average of the retail price. That's it. It is one contract. You execute it, and then down the line, you can sell your paperwork. That's it, guys. If it doesn't work out, you just get out of that contract and you move on within the allotted amount of time. Sounds simple? Yes. It is a lot of work, and for you to go out and find motivated sellers, that is the key to making wholesaling work. Now, let's pivot to doing a novation agreement, whatever you want to call it. You ready for this? This is what most of the courses break down. And I'm sorry I have to look on a paper because it's so much. You have to do a purchase and sale agreement for 80% of the retail value. You have to enter into a power of attorney. You have to record an affidavit of memorandum. You have to sign a broker listing agreement. You have to sign and meet with a broker for disclosures, and you better find a broker to put in your back pocket and train. Oh, you don't have one? They'll help you with that. You have to sign a seller's disclosure for the broker. You have to sign a cancellation of the original purchase and sales agreement, which honestly is a fake agreement because they're never going to follow through with it. Then you have to enter into a new purchase and sales agreement with your retail buyer for a significantly higher price. You're going to have to explain that to your seller. Then you have to acknowledge a 10 to 14 day inspection period for the property because that's what it requires for retail. You have to acknowledge the new contract is contingent on financing and appraisal, meaning if it doesn't appraise, it's not going to fly. Oh, and you possibly have to sign a construction lien and record it for any repairs needed. And it's just an endless parade of unscheduled showing at your seller's property. Guys, do you see the difference between the two? Imagine this. If a wholesale contract doesn't work out, you can get out within the inspection period and it's over. You don't have to go to the court and record all this stuff. I can't even count how many things are on the novation side. You have to unwind every one of these documents. And if you don't, you are at risk for a big defamation lawsuit on title from the seller and then possibly the state. And not to mention, the reality of this is what's going on here. You're basically controlling a property with zero equitable interest. You have a fake contract that you never fully plan on executing. And guys, this is the problem with novation agreements. For the record, this is what I'm opposed to on novation agreements. I'm opposed to pitching a novation course that targets brand new investors that have no experience doing real estate because you think it's easier than wholesaling and it's going to revolutionize your business. Guys, this is marketing 101. You take a theory, you try to solve a problem in theory, but the reality in the world, see this list I'm putting up in front of you? Look at all the things you have to have for a novation agreement. Do you really think you can do a power of attorney and all this stuff on your own, brand new to this business? The reality is you can't. And you know why I know that? I've been doing this business 21 years. I've done a handful of novation agreements and they happened organically. And let me explain how that works for you. An organic novation means you've tried everything to make your wholesale deal work. It just doesn't work. The seller goes back, hey, can you help me out with this? Now, if it simply needs help and they need a retail buyer, I refer them to a realtor. That's what most people do. And you can get some sort of marketing fee, consulting fee, whatever you want to call it. You can't get a commission unless you're licensed. Or you can introduce them to a buyer that you found organically on your own and you let them get in place. And if that buyer wants to compensate you a fee, a marketing fee, whatever you want to call it, then that happens naturally. Notice, I didn't go out on MLS. I didn't involve other realtors. I didn't do any of this stuff. I didn't enter a power of attorney. All I did is replace one contract with another. That is the true definition of a novation. So now let me break down and get into some of the finer details of why novations are a problem for someone with little to no experience in real estate. And let's start with the beginning. Number one, a power of attorney. Enter a power of attorney. It's a perfect document. A power of attorney basically allows you to take full responsibility for everything to do with that particular property. You can enter into any agreement. You can record liens. You can sign listing agreements. You can sign mortgages. You have to convince your seller to give complete power and authority over it. That's what a power of attorney is. Guys, using a power of attorney without an attorney is very, very dangerous and it's going to make you liable. There's a little thing called a fiduciary responsibility. And that means when you enter a power of attorney, you have to act on behalf of the seller's best interest. So let me ask you this. If I'm trying to make a large profit and a power of attorney gives me complete control, do you see the dangers of these types of powers? And especially if you have no experience. Guys, a power of attorney is not taken lightly. I never do a power of attorney without consulting and working with a lawyer and understanding most power of attorneys are highly scrutinized by title companies and underwriters. So that's document number one. Next one, now you're going to record an affidavit of memorandum. And you guys, I know you guys hear about this in wholesaling. Listen, whenever you record something on public record against a property, make sure you are consulting a lawyer. When you enter a record, especially an affidavit, is you have to do the sworn truth on it, and you have to file a memorandum. This memorandum basically is what we call clouding a title. And when you cloud a title, you using it as a position of control. Instead of recording a lien or a mortgage, it means basically the seller can't sell the property until they clear that memorandum with you. And how do you clear it? You got to get paid. It's very manipulative. And honestly, once you cloud a title, if this transaction goes south, now you are open to defamation of title, and you can be countersued, and they're going to collect the damages of what the seller would have lost if you didn't follow through. And a lot of these people are recording these memorandums. Understanding if the deal doesn't work, you have to go down to the courthouse and actually unwind it and pay for it. Most people don't even handle that in novations, and that's the problem with a brand new person using this. Let me get this straight. We have to enter in 2 purchase and sales agreement. One is your dummy price for 80%. So if wholesalers are taxed for their intentions of buying a property, and I tell all wholesalers, you better have the ability and the funds to be able to close on your deals. You need to partner up with your cash partners, get a private money, get hard money, whatever you need to do, because your intent is everything in real estate. So if I'm entering at 80% and I know that doesn't work for me, that means you had zero intent on buying the property. Why is this important? Because if you ever get called into the court of law, your intent is everything. The reason you're using that first contract and going to replace it with your new retail financed buyer contract is you're using it to leverage the seller and the buyer to get what you want. Listen, my problem is that contract is it really real? No, it's not. Why would you enter in the 2? It doesn't even make sense. You're using it as leverage. The last document is where it really falls apart for novations. You, as the power of attorney for the seller, or you can have the seller sign it, either way, is you're having them enter into a listing agreement, okay? So let me get this straight. So now the property's going on MLS. You're probably thinking, why don't they just sell it with a realtor to begin with? The reality is, by putting that property on some people call it the open market. That's a deceiving word. Instead of actually disclosing to the seller, you're putting it on MLS, which is what you're doing, is you're putting it out to the world. And then when it goes on MLS, you guys know how this works. Realtors parade through the house like endless. Like realtors, if it's on the open market, they say it's ready for sale and the house is perfect. That's 9 times out of 10 how it works out. So not only do you have to have a pocket listing like brokerage or realtor, whatever you want to call it, now you're going to subject them to endless showings. And guys, you know how this works. Realtors are just going to show up. They can schedule it, whatever. And most homeowners don't like this part. And if you think you can control it to a novation agreement, you have to find the perfect seller to do it. Remember, the seller has to agree to all these terms I referred back in the beginning of the video. Guys, this is hard to do. And I believe you're being oversold on how simplistic this is. It is not going to replace your wholesaling business. And honestly, if you do all this stuff plus the listing agreement, the reality is you're brokeraging real estate without a license. This is a clear-cut case. I reviewed it with multiple lawyers. I reviewed it with title companies in Florida. They are red flagging files with power of attorneys, fake contracts, all this stuff. And they're telling the sellers, what is the real deal here? We're seeing multiple contracts. And the problem is it's complete deception in how this is explained to the sellers. Guys, I love real estate investing. I love wholesaling. And we're trying to make this business 100% legitimate. If you go the path of novations and you go out and market these and think it's going to solve your problems, you are buying a dream, you're buying a theory, and marketers are going to take advantage of you. Guys, I've been doing this business for 21 years. I'm here to tell you there is no replacement for wholesaling. Wholesaling is simple, but most people make it hard. So wholesaling is not as sexy anymore, whatever the word is, and people think you're going to fail in it in 2023. The reality is the only thing that's going to save you in 2023 and beyond is learning the fundamentals of real estate investing. It always starts with wholesaling. And if you think you're going to skip wholesaling and jump to novations and you can buy properties for close to full price and easily navigate all these complicated legal documents with a course, I've got news for you. You are going to have issues. And the point of this video, you can call it controversial, whatever you want. I want to save you from the pain and waste of time you're going to do with these documents. If you've just started in real estate, do not start with novation. Start with wholesaling. It is a fundamental principle of learning real estate. And you realize the novations, If they go wrong, and by the way, a high percentage of them go wrong, you are at massive risk for violating multiple statutes, laws, whatever you want to call it. And it could be borderline fraud if you really want to look into it. And for this reason, eventually Novations will be shut down because it's going to get so prolific, because the gurus are going to sell you as the cure. The only thing you're curing is their bank account by paying them. Honestly, if you're going to pay a guru 3, 5, whatever they're charging for this, take that money to a local real estate lawyer and have them explain how to correctly do a novation. And honestly, you're going to be better off. You cannot lie to sellers. I've always told you this up front. Using words like make it look like, open market, and the word reasonable are recipes for disasters, for you being questioned by the state, local officials, if not federal. Guys, there's a simple cure to this. It's called wholesaling. Go over to freewholesaling.com. I'm going to cut you through all the guru BS that you guys are being marketed. There is no simple way to do it. You have to put in the work. If you think Novations is going to be a shortcut, you're going to lose a lot of money. You're going to waste a lot of time. And I want you to be truly successful in wholesaling. So let me know in the comments. I'm sure gurus are going to be upset that I'm doing this. But honestly, I've watched this market over the years. I watched these quick little tricks. And Novations is not a course. It's not a technique. It happens naturally. You replace one contract to the other. Power of attorney, recording of affidavits, multiple entering into contracts, and then signing a listing agreement is a recipe for a newbie in this business. Guys, please avoid it. I want to keep you safe. I want you to be successful wholesalers. So let me know in the comments if you agree with my take on Novations. Guys, I've been doing this business 21 years. I love wholesaling. I love real estate investing, but we've got to make sense of what we're doing. Don't buy in the theory. Don't buy in the hype. Stay true to wholesaling, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.